by observing your thoughts, you have a better understanding of where the emotions may have come from and what may have triggered you. Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dominique Davis, also known as Brown and Bendy, and here on this channel we practice flexibility. Flexibility of the mind, flexibility of the body, and flexibility of the spirit. So let's just get right into it. It is the end of November, early December, depending on when you are watching this, and lots of places are going back into lockdown, stay-at-home orders, XYZ. Actually, let's start a new thing. Let's not call it lockdown, because doesn't that subconsciously tell us that we are having our rights taken away and that we are being forced to do something? And personally, I don't look at lockdown like that. What else should we call it? What would it be cool? But anyway, stay-at-home orders are about to go into effect. So I thought it would be a really good idea to make a video about what you can do during your special snuggly stay-at-home time to find a place of ease, find a place of peacefulness, find a place of relaxation, and not feel so energetically stagnant. Because let's be honest, a lot of us hate staying home so much because our energy starts to build up, especially if you are a social creature. And guess what? If you are not a cat, if you are not a dog, if you are a human, you are a social creature, because we are all social, even the introverts out there. It's a part of our human nature. No matter how chill you think being at home for an extended period of time is, it is also important to understand that even not going down the street for coffee or not getting on public transportation and being surrounded by other earthlings, that can have an effect on your mental state. You don't have to be the most social person on the planet to be affected by stay-at-home, comfy, cozy time either. So let's just talk about some things that we can do for our mental health, for our spiritual health, and just for our overall well-being that will allow us to enter quarantine, lockdown, comfy, cozy, stay-at-home time in a way that serves us most. Because a lot of this that's happening in the world can kind of take our attention off of ourselves and have us start believing that our fate and our lives are in the hands of other people, and that's never true. So enough rambling, let's get into some of these self-care thingamabobbers. My husband made eggs and they stink. The first self-care practice that I would like to talk about starting while you are at comfy, cozy, stay-at-home time is meditation. So during quarantine, content will seduce you. It will seduce you. You'll be drawn to binging Netflix. You'll be drawn to binging Hulu. You'll be drawn to listening to podcasts, listening to music, really getting into a bunch of different types of content that maybe you've never experienced before, because you have so much free time. This is why I put meditation first on the list. I don't know how much it actually serves us to fill up this extra free time with more external content. I actually think that a balance of maintaining our inner world with a balance of consuming external content is the best way to go about keeping an internal balance of, I enjoy these things, but I can survive without them. Because could we all really imagine quarantine without internet? I couldn't. So by using meditation, we're able to make sure that, if our internet goes out one day, or if we don't really feel like consuming any content, we're able to sit alone with ourselves and our thoughts and be just as fulfilled and happy. So depending on whether you have been to my channel before, if you have, you know what meditation is. But if you are new, then the word meditation may throw you off just a little bit. So I want to talk about a couple of different types of meditation, because meditation can cover a very broad range of subjects. The first type of meditation I'd like to talk about is simply observing the mind. If you've never meditated before, this is definitely where I suggest starting. Finding a nice quiet space where you can sit comfortably, close your eyes, and just observe what's going on in your noggin. Remembering that our thoughts do not define us, our thoughts do not define our personality, our thoughts are just thoughts. So, that being said, you have nothing to be scared of, but you will be able to understand yourself on a deeper level if you sit back in silence and just unemotionally see what's going on in your noggin, especially if stay-at-home comfy time triggers you. So that way you're able to see what thoughts are coming up, how these thoughts make you feel, and start to think of a game plan for how to deal with these thoughts. If you don't take the time to observe your thoughts and observe what's coming up, then that leads to you having emotions in your body and having no idea where they came from. How many of us have been sitting at home in quarantine and have all of a sudden been overwhelmed with emotion? No idea why. Just emotional now. It happens to me often. I don't have any shame. So by by observing your thoughts, you have a better understanding of where the emotions may have come from and what may have triggered you. And even separate from stay-at-home comfy cozy time, sitting and observing your thoughts is so important in general because it allows you to start the process of understanding what thoughts you agree with, what thoughts are your own, and what thoughts are conditioned from society and your parents and your friends and your teachers and the television and the yap, yap, yap. Observing your thoughts allows you to figure out what thoughts belong to you and what thoughts don't serve you so much. The second type of meditation I'd like to talk about is practicing stillness and sitting in silence. This would be a way to deepen your meditation practice after observing your thoughts. I was in the phase of observing my thoughts for a very long time. I never tried to rush through it. I'm not going to tell you how long because I don't want you to set your standard as my standard is your standard. But I took my time in that phase. But when you are ready to quiet the mind, when you have an understanding of your personality, an understanding of who you are, an understanding of what makes you happy, an understanding of what does not make you happy, then we can start moving into stillness, okay? So this is the practice of observing the thoughts and letting them go. This is getting deeper into a meditative state. And, kind of getting into the good stuff. We're kind of getting into the good stuff. So what you would do, same process, sit down, find a comfortable seated position, close your eyes, relax the body, and observe the thoughts. And then as the thoughts come in, just like clouds passing in the sky, let the thought come, and as soon as it comes, let it go. To the point where you're able to tap into your being, tapping into your senses, noticing what it feels like to smell, noticing what it feels like to feel the eyelids rest on top of the eyeballs, noticing what the tips of your fingers feel like, and using the breath to take you deeper and deeper into this place. Practicing stillness is so important in these times because we are enduring comfy, cozy stay-at-home time, and there is a lot of stillness when you're at home, unless you live in a mansion. But if you live in a normal studio, 1, 2, 3 bedroom home or apartment, there's only so much moving you can do inside of your whole place. So learning how to just sit and be with yourself and observe how you feel and observe who you are in the moment is one of the best ways to use your time. And honestly, it's going to be a little woo-woo, but if you are one of the people choosing to meditate during these times on the planet, you are a part of the overall movement to even out the energy and to add peace to these very energetically chaotic times. Do you want to be that person? Meditate and you will be. So the last meditation I'd like to talk about is the fun stuff. This is going to be more in the, okay, I want to be different when I come out of stay at home, comfy, cozy time. I want to be on my, I want to be on my stuff. How can I do it? This is coming from that type of energy, right? So after we learn to observe our thoughts and learn to sit in stillness, the last meditation technique I'd like to talk about is rewiring the brain. Let's say you got some goals. COVID, stay at home, comfy, cozy time has nothing to do with you, has nothing to do with your pockets, has nothing to do with your goals. You can make however much money you want. You can accomplish whatever you want, no matter what is going on in the external world, because what you attract to you has to do with you, not what everybody else has going on, right? So let's say you want to start accomplishing some goals. After you learn to push the thoughts away, you will realize that you can use the breath to get into an even deeper meditative state, to the point where your body falls asleep while the mind is still awake. The mind is still, but you can still have thoughts. You are still conscious, even though the body is sleeping. This is a wonderful way to start really exploring your subconscious, if that's what you're into. Not saying you have to, but if you're into it, this is a wonderful way to start exploring your subconscious and implementing phrases and affirmations and mantras that serve you. When you get down to this brainwave state, you are able to say mantras, you are able to say things that you may not believe when you're not in meditation. For example, I fear nothing and no one, or my potential is limitless, or I attract large sums of money effortlessly. You're able to say these things at this really deep place of meditation because you don't have all of these other thoughts telling you why this isn't possible for you. You're able to say these things at this place and really start to rewire the thoughts that don't serve so that you can replace those thoughts with thoughts that support the life that you'd like to move into. But that's not what this video is about. So I'm just going to give you that. And if you'd like me to expand on it, just let me know in the comments and we'll talk about it more some other time. The second self-care practice to start when entering quarantine, lockdown, or comfy cozy time is reading. Reading is so important. And I want to give you guys a couple of suggestions. So let's talk about books that I have finished. I would like to recommend these only two? Oh no. Babe. Yeah, can you bring me the 7 spiritual laws of success? Thank you. Okay, so let's talk about books that I have finished. So I'm going to give these suggestions to you in the order that I suggest that you read them. If you haven't explored self-help literature before, or literature that just helps you think a little bit deeper about your existence and the existence of other humans, get into it, man. It's fun. Okay, so the first book I'm going to suggest is You Are a Badass, just because it's a nice, light palate cleanser. It's a great book to remind you of your power, remind you of everything you're capable of. It also has a little bit of law of attraction stuff sprinkled in it, but it's not overwhelming. It's a great, great place to start. After you read You Are a Badass, I would suggest, this is going to be the chunk, a big, big chunk of your stay-at-home comfy cozy time. I would suggest Anatomy of the Spirit. This book changed my life. This book talks about so much, but it aligns with the ideology around chakras and what your chakras have to do with your experience and how the chakras can determine how you think, how you act, how you are socially, how you are with yourself, and how you developed your habits, patterns, etc., etc. So Anatomy of the Spirit is a great second book to delve into. It's a little bit deeper. This book inspires so much growth, and I just think that stay-at-home comfy cozy time is a wonderful time to explore said growth. One of my faves. And then the last book I'm going to recommend after you finish Anatomy of the Spirit would be The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. I feel like Anatomy of the Spirit is a wonderful book to know yourself and understand yourself. And then once you get to the 7 Spiritual Laws of Success, that can allow you to take everything that you know about yourself and then figure out a way to put all of this new understanding into action in an organized way. Deepak Chopra is no one to play around with. Okay, he's the main guy. This is such a great book. Random excerpt. Let's see. When you feel frustrated or upset by a person or a situation, remember that you are not reacting to the person or the situation, but to your feelings about the person or the situation. These are your feelings, and your feelings are not someone else's fault. Random page I opened to. So, Deepak Chopra's The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success is a great book to help you understand yourself even deeper, but also take that understanding and figure out how to start organizing your internal world so we can start to see reflections in the external world. Quickly, let's talk about 2 books I'm reading. The first is Practicing Mindfulness. And all these books will be in the description box below. Do not worry. But Practicing Mindfulness, which is 75 essential meditations to reduce stress, improve mental health, and find peace in every day. Quarantine must have. Quarantine must have for when you start to feel that stagnant energy building up. And then last but not least, it didn't start with you. This one is just like tearing my life apart, but in the best way. This book is about inherited family trauma. Okay, and how a lot of our habits and a lot of our fears and a lot of our anxieties, a lot of our depression doesn't come from our own life experiences, but instead was passed down to us from our parents and our grandparents and related traumas that each of our generations have gone through because they have not been solved or resolved. So, if you want to tear apart your whole existence and see things in a new light, this is definitely the one. I'm not done with this one yet. I'm halfway through. I'm taking my time. I probably will read like about 30 pages and switch to another book and then come back because there are some triggering exercises. This book does not play around when it comes to triggering you. So major trigger warning on this one, but it's so good if you want to take this time to do the work. The next self-care practice that I would like to mention while we are staying at home would be writing. Not too much to talk about here. I think that if you have free time and you find that you want to practice creativity, you have a lot of stuff inside and you want to just get it out, get back to creative writing. We used to do it all the time in school. Tell a story, create a world, write a little bit about what you want to see from the world, what you want to see in your life. And then if you're starting to feel really saucy, maybe you can get into some scripting. What is scripting, you ask? Well, if you've been on this channel, you know what scripting is, but if you don't, I will put a link in the description box. This link will take you to a video that will explain scripting very, very in depth. But basically what scripting is writing out a life scenario that aligns with what you want to see from your life and writing about how this scenario makes you feel. This allows you to identify how you want to feel internally through creative writing. And then when you identify that feeling, when you are in your physical life, you can figure out what you can do in your physical life to replicate that feeling and hold on to that vibration so that you can attract those parts of reality into your current reality. Last but not least, the last practice that I would like to recommend for stay-at-home comfy cozy time is Yin Yoga. There are so many different types of yoga, and I'm not gonna lie, I love power yoga. I'm a big fan. But I would like to recommend Yin Yoga because Yin Yoga is a type of yoga that more so focuses on restoring the body as well as slowing down, practicing patience, practicing stillness, and letting go of the urge to fidget and move, and instead letting the body relax so the mind can follow. And in Yin Yoga, if you've practiced before, or let me rephrase that, if you've practiced yoga before, you've probably practiced sequences where you are flowing because that's what's the most popular in yoga studios and on YouTube yoga videos. But the difference with Yin Yoga is that you're actually holding one pose anywhere from 6 to God knows how many breaths. So that's going to translate from 30 seconds to 12 minutes is the longest that I've experienced, but some people do longer. And what this does is it trains your mind and your body to be in the same place together. Because once you get to that 30, 45 seconds, you're ready to move. And then you use the breath to continue to let your body relax as you get from that 45 seconds to however long the teacher is telling you to hold the pose. This expands your ability for stillness immensely, but it also will bring up a lot of the reasons why you personally struggle to be still. And I believe that through the reading and through creative writing and through meditation, you can learn how to deal with all the thoughts that Yin Yoga brings up. You can find Yin Yoga anywhere. You can find it on YouTube. You can find it on Owl Moves, which is one of my favorite platforms for practicing yoga. You can find Yin Yoga almost anywhere. It's one of my favorite types of yoga to practice. If you would like to bring your body into your wellness routine, Yin Yoga is the way to do it. All right, my loves, that is it for this video. I do hope that you enjoyed it because I enjoyed making it. If you did, give this video a thumbs up so other people on YouTube know that it is valuable and that they should watch it. Also, if you would like me to expand on anything that we talked about in this video, because we talked about a lot, right? So if you'd like me to expand on anything that we talked about in the video, just let me know in the comments below, and I'll make a video in the future referencing whatever you ask me. Last but not least, if you are not already subscribed, please make sure that you do, and click that notification bell so that you can be notified when I come out with a new upload. I am so grateful for you, and I am so grateful for your time and attention. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you next time. Bye!